Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another Esports Report update. I'm Chris Puckett, and I'm supposed to be home by now, but there's too much drama going down in the Call of Duty community today. Following UMG, we've seen all kinds of team changes, and right now, I have joining me via Skype, we have Nadeshot on the line to talk about what's been going down with Optic Gaming. Matt, it has been a crazy day. How are you feeling at this point right now?
I'm feeling confident, feeling really happy about our roster, and I'm really looking forward to start competing this year. I don't think I've ever been this excited, just because of the players that we do have. Everyone's a very intelligent individual, and they all know what it takes to win. So I'm excited to be a part of these three players' roster, and I think it's going to be really good.
Well, speaking of that roster, we haven't covered it quite yet, but of course, Sculpey announcing earlier today that he is going to be going over to Team Envyus. Big timer 2 weeks ago, mentioning that UMG Philly was his last event. So basically, it was you and Ricky sitting there for the most part of the day. We saw a tweet. Clayster's now on Optic Gaming coming over from TK. And then most recently, about an hour ago, Parasite making the move to Optic. It's official now. So the lineup, Nadeshot, Ricky, Clayster, Parasite. On paper, man, this is a fierce lineup. Who's gonna be the OBJ man? Who's gonna be taking on that role?
That's going to be me. I'm going to try my best not to worry about my stats and really lay my life on the line to capture those flags, get those blitz points, and plant bombs and search and destroy. A lot of people don't think that this roster will be good just because everyone has a very similar play style. But we talked about it. We discussed with everybody that Ricky's going to be that anchor player that we really need, who's just going to be like the main assault rifle slayer. Clayster can get very aggressive when he needs to, and then Parasite, obviously, he's been running a sub since about the halfway point of Black Ops 2, and he has an amazing shot, just great map presence at all times. So we really do have a very good lineup, and I think we're going to have a strong showing at the next tournament if we put the time in. It's
going to be exciting, and I guess one other big thing that I saw on Twitter was not only just similar play styles, but also kind of similar personalities. A lot of you guys are known for being strong leaders, being that in-game communicator. Who's going to be the one calling the shots? Have you guys talked about that? Have you had any time to practice at this point?
To be honest with you, I feel like in-game it's going to be just one big think tank. That's one of my favorite parts about this team is that everyone's very intelligent. I said that at the beginning. So, I'm gonna lay low, I think, throughout the game and let everybody else really do the talking. I'm just gonna call out what I see, and we're gonna work it out, because I feel like when everybody's putting constructive criticism and effort into the game, it's just gonna have amazing results. Everyone's gonna have opinions on what's gonna work, what's not gonna work, and I think we're gonna come to just a midway point that we can all agree on and just make it happen. I don't think it'll be an issue. There's going to be arguments here and there just because we're all very similar. We have a very strategic mindset. So I know there's going to be arguments and small disagreements, but we've decided that we're going to work past that and just make this work as best as possible.
Sounds good to me. And we saw the highest placing from Optic Gaming was really third at the Call of Duty Championships when you guys were playing with Scump, kind of at the start of Black Ops 2. Kind of went downhill from there, and I want to ask you about Optic Gaming back in the last few months. Now that you have a totally new team, reflecting back on that old school lineup, what went wrong with that?
Well, throughout the entire year, in December of 2012, we actually won the first Black Ops 2 event, which was UMG Chicago. And then after that, we had strong showings at every single tournament. We just came up short. We placed third basically the entire year. And when we decided to part ways with Merc, that was a point in our head that we thought, okay, Merc is a very good player, but if we could just pick up an assault rifle with a little bit more slang power that could be a little bit more consistent, we could take a pretty good shot at winning these tournaments. So that was kind of a problem in itself because we weren't complacent with third place. And then when we did make a move and we picked JCap up, it didn't click. We struggled in a lot of different game types. Search and destroy, our biggest one. And when you're playing two search and destroys in every best of 5, and you can't really win those maps, it's going to be very difficult. So I think when we went wrong is we decided not to try and make it work with Merc. There was a lot of issues in the house, and obviously we weren't winning, so that was the biggest one. But I think that's where we went wrong. We weren't complacent, and it kind of bit us in the butt by not trying to work it out.
That totally makes sense to me. And apologies for leaving out the UMG Chicago event. Forgot that snuck in
Oh,
at the
no,
very start
no
of
worries, no
2013.
worries.
Got to ask you about the drama between, we saw all kinds of tweets going around.
Yeah.
J-Cap throwing some in there. Sculpey, he was running rampant behind the keyboard. Is there going to be some bad blood between you and Sculpey moving forward? I feel like we have a new rivalry brewing between two sister teams in Optic and Envy.
It's tough to say. I'm not happy with the way it was handled. I'm not happy with the way Seth approached it. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I don't call out Seth on a lot of things that he does. If you ask anybody else outside the team, they might think that I'm picking on him. But me, I'm very vocal on the things that I like and do not like, and I didn't let that hide, and I did it to Seth, and I think he kind of resents me for it. I just felt like we weren't practicing enough, and the attitude that he had just wasn't working the way you need to have it on any given team. So. I did call him out, and I like I said, I do think he resents me for that. So I think there might be a little bit of bad blood, but I got into it a little bit on Twitter, and then I decided to delete it. I just want to stay away from the drama. You know what? I used to enjoy it back in the day when I was a little bit younger, but now when I see drama, I just see a lot more work that has to be done on Twitter and stuff, and it's just not worth it. I don't want to be a part of it, and that's it is what it is.
Yeah, it makes sense. Staying away from the drama, keeping the team composed, and I think that is going to be the key to victory for any of the teams that are going to be involved in any of these team changes going down right now, or if the teams decide to keep their same rosters. I got to get your thoughts on the Rambo move as well. You've seen this guy in the community forever. You've played with him online. What do you think of Rambo making the move from player to coach?
You know what? I read his tweet, and I'm not sure if he said that he's going to be completely retiring, but if he is, I'm actually very disappointed. Although I did kind of come in and take Rambo's spot, so to speak. I do admire him as a player and what he's done in the past. He's a very good friend of mine. I love his personality. He's just one of the coolest guys that you can meet. And I hope he's not done competing. He's one of the smartest players to ever play this game. And I hope he picks his sticks back up. And I don't want to see him go. I don't want to see him retire. I still think he can win. All I can remember is Meltdown Search and Destroy from COD Champs. I think into the third round he had 9 or 10 kills. So that's just one of those standout moments that I remember. And I think he knows that he still has the ability to play. So hopefully we see him back on the sticks. But he's going to be an amazing coach, and Envy is going to be a big threat with him behind them, directing traffic. So I'm not sure what to think of it yet, but I wish I would still see Rambo playing.
Officially, Curse Las Vegas has a roster spot to fill. TK has a spot, Strictly Business. Elevate, even a team out there that looking to fill some players on. If you were Rambo right now, or actually as a player who played against Rambo, where do you think he might fit in? Would any of those teams be a good option, or do you think he could find a better fit somewhere else?
I'm not really sure where Rambo would best fit, just because TK needs a strong AR. I was thinking maybe bring on somebody like Fears from SB or Swanee from across the pond. I know we thought about talking to Swanee a little bit when we were looking for a fourth. He's a really strong AR and a great guy. But Curse Las Vegas, they need an aggressive sub-machine gun slayer. So I don't know where they're going to go with that. I think they have Nameless running an AR, and then Miracles and Killa obviously running SMGs. But a lot of these maps are so SMG-orientated, you need 3 of them. So I think Rambo could fit there, but I really don't have an answer right now. I don't see any set 3 people that would work with Rambo. He's really good at building squads and making something out of nothing. So if he were to come back and play, I think he would build his own team, not join a team of 3.
Sounds like a smart move to me. Finally, I got to ask you about this new lineup that Optic Gaming has put back together. Now Clayster, Parasite, Ricky on the squad. Who's the captain right now? And when are you guys going to be starting streaming and practicing? When can people watch you?
Right now, Big Timer's still the captain. We haven't really discussed that. I feel like captain in Call of Duty is really not something that's important just for like the team builders for MLG. But because everybody on our team is so vocal and they're all proven champions, I'm really honored to be playing with them. We've had our issues with Parasite in the past, but he seemed to come around, and we're on really good terms. Clayster, just came off an amazing year with Complexity, and then Ricky is one of the best teammates I think that I've played with so far, even though it's only been for a couple weeks. I'm really excited to play with them. I've been frustrated over the past month or so because we haven't been practicing that much, and right now I'm just so driven to play, and I can't wait to play with these guys because I feel like this is the best chance that I have at winning a championship on Call of Duty Ghosts. We're going to be playing tonight in a 4v4 Search and Destroy tournament. I think we're just going to be doing it for fun. I'm not sure if Clayster's playing yet, but it will be Parasite, Ricky, and myself.
Awesome.
I'm sure one of them will be streaming. I'm not sure if I will, just because my internet is having a few hiccups over here in Chicago. But I'm excited. I think this is going to be a really good year, and I can't wait to start competing with them.
All right, well, hopefully we can get you guys on MLG.TV/Optic tonight. If not, I'm sure we can catch you on Twitter. And Nadeshot, I got to thank you for coming on, man. I know it's been a stressful day. It seems like you guys have ended on a positive note. I know I'm personally really excited to see what is going to come from this new Optic Gaming lineup, and looking forward to watching you guys in this Sunday's 2K series.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. I'm really excited, and I really appreciate you guys taking the time to interview me.
All right, well, of course, you can find Nadeshot on his YouTube channel, and you can, of course, follow him on Twitter, Optic Nadeshot. Guys, after this, we are not done. I'm going to have Fwiz, Golden Boy, and Wisdom joining me to talk about all the team changes that went down today. Stay tuned for the Esports Report update.